Okay. All right. So everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shirat David. Baruch Hashem. Another beautiful day. We keep losing soldiers. It's such an avla. Wow. Yesterday we lost more soldiers. It's scary to see these things. Boker Tov, Yossi. Yeah, but again, we're doing what we can do, and that's to learn on behalf of the Chayalim, the brave men and women that are out there doing their utmost, really. And it's amazing, really. It's amazing. And please, HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed them a lot of Rachmanis, because they're going up against mamish the richest of the world, right? They're going up the real evil of the world, and they're trying. So please, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, help them. Okay, and we have also the Chatufim, the captives that are still in captivity. Unbelievable, unbelievable. Really, they're going almost into 14 months now. Unbelievable, really. It's just 101 of them. Okay, and then all the pitzuim. Someone showed me yesterday that we had 12,000 soldiers that are injured since the beginning of the war. 12,000 soldiers. We have 12,000 injured soldiers since the beginning of this war. 12,000. HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed them refuah. We give them big refuahs and yeshuas, and we should see a big yeshua for all the Klal Yisrael. Okay. So we're learning in the Likutey Halachos, Hilchos Nefilas Apayim. We're learning about the laws of Tachanun, and we're in Halacha Vav, and this is based on the lesson 12 in the second book of Likutey Moran Tinyana, the Torah about Aye. Right? Always know you can always cry out to Hashem from wherever you are. You can always cry out to the Rebbeinu Shalom and say, Hashem, where are you? And bring Hashem into your life. Bring Hashem into the place that you find, that the person may find himself. And then reveal Hashem in that place, because Hashem is there. Reveal Hashem in there, and that's bringing the covet of Hashem to any place of the world. Bring Hashem's covet. Okay. All right, so here we go. Now that we're talking about that, so today we're learning Halacha Vav, and we're up to letter Ches. So here we go. Hey, it's next week's Parsha, right? Yeah. How do you like that? Okay. Last week we were learning Erev on our Isru Chag. On our Isru Chag, we're learning about Bereshis, right? In Likutey Halachos. Right, we're learning about the Maimah Bereshis, the week of Bereshis. It was pretty nifty. Yeah.
Doesn't also Noah doesn't flood on Yud Cheshvan?
Yeah.
No, I just like it. We're also like right around. But that also
it's around that time. Yeah, it's around that time. It's amazing. Yeah. All right. So anyway, it's a very interesting thing. HaKadosh Baruch Hu also tests the Tzaddikim, right? He tests the Tzaddikim as well. Not only are we tested, but the Tzaddikim are also tested in their way. Okay? So what does Hashem say to Avram Avinu? He says to him, Lech lecha me'atzecha. Hey, leave your place. Leave your land. Right? Me'atzecha me'molatecha me'vesavicha el aretz asher arecha. Right? Leave your land. Right? Okay. Okay, Perish Rashi. V'lo gila lo ha'aretz miyad. Hashem didn't tell him where he's going. Is that interesting? He set out to go somewhere, but doesn't know where he's going. So he leaves his house, he leaves his place. Do you make a right turn or a left turn? What do you do?
Right.
Okay, but he doesn't
always go right.
True, okay, but Hashem didn't tell him what direction he's going.
Yeah.
Maybe he has to go back. Maybe he has to go forward. I don't know.
Yeah.
What does he do? He doesn't know what to do.
Couldn't use ways.
Huh? You can't use Waze if you don't have an address.
You can't use Waze if you don't have
You need to have you have to have an address to put in there. Hashem didn't give an address. He didn't give an address of where he's going. Okay? Okay, today to be more beloved in his eyes. You don't know, it's a surprise. Right? You're going somewhere, you get a surprise, right? A surprise is nice, right? You don't know, like someone makes you a party and they make you a surprise, it's a special thing. Right? If you know about it, it's good too. But this was a surprise, so it should be more beloved to him. That he doesn't know what it is, and Hashem is going to show it to him as he's going. Right? And he'll get more schar, he gets more reward for trusting in Hashem. Right? Like when we left Egypt, we had no idea where we were going. Right? We left Egypt, right? We went after Hashem in the place. We had no idea where we were going. We had no idea. Okay.
Well, we knew we were going to Eretz Yisrael, but we didn't know how we're getting there.
We had no idea, right? We had no idea.
We just didn't know what,
We went in a very long and a roundabout way.
That was because of faith.
Yeah. Okay, and then when it also came to the Akedah. Right? So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to him, Al Achad Hehorim Asher Omer Elecha. On one of the mountains that I'll tell you. Again, he doesn't tell him the destination. Just go on one of the mountains that I'm going to tell you that you're going to show up to. Ukara Aleha Esakriya. Right? Then he called up the Kriya, right? V'chol zehu b'chinas ma shekosu b'soy v'toyra now shegam al gedolei tzaddikim oive b'chinas zois. At the end of the lesson on 12, in the David, did you get the chance to read through the lesson? No, not yet. Okay. If you read through it, so the Rebbe's talking about there, Rabbi Nachman's talking there, but also the Tzaddikim, they're also always tested. The Tzaddikim are tested as well. Different kind of test than we go through sometimes, right? But they're also always tested. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu always does that again because everyone has Bechira. Right? Everyone in the world must have Bechira, free choice. Right? So you get tested to see what are you going to do? Right? Avram Avinu didn't say to Hashem, listen, okay, I'll go. You want me to go? Tell me where to go. Right? He was tested, and that's his test. Maybe we would say, if someone says to you, hey, go, leave your house and go. So you say, I'll do that, fine, but tell me where I'm going. Right? Tell me where I'm going. You wouldn't go otherwise.
Right.
Why would I leave? I don't know where I'm going. I don't know how to prepare. Am I going to a warm climate, a cold climate? Am I going a rainy season? I don't know. Where am I going? How do I prepare?
Do they have Wi-Fi there?
I don't know.
Where?
So Abraham in his emunah, he's not going to waste words with Hashem. So
No, but we don't know. But again, this is all new. We're thinking about it, right? We're just trying to understand what happened here. Right? Hashem tells him just go somewhere. He doesn't tell him where to go. Never really goes. He packs his stuff up and he's not coming back. Right? He's not coming back. He's going. He's making a big life change, right? It's going to be a big life change. He's going, but he has no idea where he's going to. I don't know how many of us would do that.
Well, in some ways, we all did that. Not quite that. Not that.
No, all of us here, we all left wherever we came from, right? We're all olim over here, right? That's true. But we had an idea where we were going.
Right.
But actually,
similar in that we also have no idea what's going on in life. We want to know everything. We want
to
think we're in charge and put everything in, but I don't know where all this is going.
We don't know where anything is going, right?
You have to have a direction in life, but you don't always get to where you want to go.
Well, that's true. But you have some idea of where you're going.
Yeah.
Right? He had no idea where he was heading to. He had no idea. He didn't know there was such a thing as Israel. He didn't know yet. Hashem never told him. He was going somewhere. It's amazing when you think about it. Right? You think about what it said. Leave everything behind. right? Leave everything behind. All the things of your father's house, all the things of your country, right? All the things of the country where he came from, right? Everything. Forget all of that. Unbelievable. Okay. Shegam al gedoyle tzaddikim over bechina zay shekoidim kol Torah. All of it, before they have his kalas HaTorah, right? Before the tzaddikim have some kind of revelation in Torah, right? They get some kind of revelation in Torah, right? Muchruch la'ava derech elu habilbulim v'sveikas sheim bechinas libi secharchar. Right? My heart is in doubt, right? Secharchar means, okay, what do you want to say, Mordechai?
Well, because there was something right here that I'm thinking. It says I will tell you upon one of the mountains. I will tell you. Call out to it the call that I will tell you. It seems like he may be teaching them to call out to Hashem.
Well, okay, I don't know why they translate it to call out. It doesn't. It doesn't translate. It says Allah achad har masher oimer elecha, that I will tell you, not he will call out. That's Hashem will tell him. I don't understand that translation.
Line is call out to the call I will tell you. It's just after that.
It wasn't Avraham Avinu was supposed to go to where Hashem told him to go. It wasn't Avraham Avinu calling out. Yes, do you agree with that?
I hear. I think the question stands. That's all. Like he picked up and he left.
He left, and that's it. That's right. And now here's another thing. So before any tzaddik, so we're learning this Torah, right? And these ideas from Rav Nosson. So before he was able to bring these things down, he had some kind of quandary. He went through some kind of quandary on some level to understand it. All the tzaddikim go through their process to be able to understand to be able to bring something down, and those are their tests. Those are the tzaddikim's tests, right? They go through their thing. They have their problems. Again, a tzaddik may want to have a certain kavanah when he makes his bracha, right?
Right.
He wants to have a certain kavanah of Hashem's name, right? There are many different kavanahs of Yud Kei Vav Kei, right? He wanted to have a certain kavanah because of this bracha he was making. And, it didn't work out. So on the tzaddik's level, that's a yerida. Halavai, we would even know that there are so many different kavanas of Hashem's names, right? But for the tzaddik, that's a great thing, right? He understands that. He understands the shemus of Hashem, and he wanted to be mechaben to a certain, and it didn't work out for him. So that on his level, he had a yerida. On the tzaddik's level, halavai, those would be our yeridas, right? Yeah. Halavai, right? But anyway, that's a yerida. K'may shekosav bebechinas uma she'Hashem yizbarach lo yigila la'avram es ha'oretz miyad kedei sheyitztorech lechapesh u'levakesh acher etzaynei. He had to search after what is the ratzon of Hashem. The tzaddik has to search after. We have to always be searching after what does Hashem want me to do now. Hatev, always look into.
Hashem tells him what he wants. He's not telling what place he's going to. But he's not saying, I'm going to make you great. I'm going to make you a great nation.
Yeah.
He tells him what his plan in life is.
Okay.
I'm saying where it's going to be happening. I'm saying that I'll tell you later.
Okay, so you don't think it's a problem that he just left?
It's not, say you want also want to know, where am I going? Am I going to Mexico? Am I going to California?
He doesn't know where he's going. Right.
It's important too.
It's nice to know where you're going, right? But again, here, so we're learning that we always have to ask Hashem, hey, Hashem, what is your ratzon, right? What is your ratzon? And again, before you do anything, a person can ask themselves the question, if I do this now, is this going to bring Hashem nachas? Or is Hashem not going to be happy with me if I do this? Right? You can always ask yourself that question. Right? Before we do anything. Is this going to bring more kvod shemayim in the world? Or am I going to hide Hashem's covenant in the world? Right? You can ask him like that also. Is this going to bring more kvod shemayim in the world? Or is this going to hide Hashem's covenant? Am I going to go back to the Ma'amar Bereshis? Right? I'm going back to the hidden statement. I'm hiding Hashem's covenant. I don't want to do that, right? Now look what he says. This was the main test of Avraham Avinu. And again, Chazal said it, this was his first test. This was Avraham Avinu's test. This was a test of Avraham Avinu. So Chazal say that this is one of Avraham Avinu's tests. Okay? All right. V'chein shall call ha-tzaddikim v'kamoishe shemati mipiv ha-kodesh, as he heard from Rabbi Nachman. Rabbi Noson's writing, as he heard from Rabbi B'shas ha-nisoyen, shall call ha-adam, ein ha-adam bedatei b'shleimus, be'inyan ha-nisoyen. So the person, like we started talking about this yesterday, when a person is being tested, so he doesn't have his full das, he doesn't have his full intellect, his full faculty when he's being tested. Right? The same way we said when a person goes to a test, now they go to have an exam, right? You're going to go take a test, right? So they don't let you bring your, let's say you have one of these smart watches, right? An Apple Watch or some other kind of watch. They don't let you bring that in, right? Because you'll punch into things, you'll have your answers on your, right? They don't let you do that, right? So HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he's testing us, it's the same thing. He takes away our levels. And he wants to see if we're ready, where we're really at, what we really know, how close we really are to him, right? Other Sfarim say that anything a level that a person earned through Mesiras Nefesh, right? If you did something and you persevered for something, a level in Ruchnius, in spirituality, and you really persevered and you worked for it, that they don't take away from you. Things that Hashem gave to you, presents that Hashem gave to you, those are taken away. Things that you mamish worked for, that at the time of the Nisayan is yours. The same way you can understand it, the more if you went to prepare for a test, right? The more you studied, right? If you studied a lot, so then the information, you retain it in your mind. So that you can close the book, you take away the book, so you still know the information. Right, but stuff that you just happened to scan and you didn't really look at really well and you didn't really work on it, so that you may not remember. Right? Does that make sense? Yeah, okay. Okay. Because if the person would have his full faculty, right? If he had everything in order, what kind of test is it? Right? It's not a test. Right, so again, Avraham Avinu at this point, he was the first, he was the Rosh Lamanim, right? Bihi Baram, right? Ba'Avraham, right? It says the word was created Bihi Baram. What is Bihi Baram? The Chazal say Avraham. Avraham is Bihi Baram, okay? The whole world was created because Avraham Avinu had Emunah. He introduced Emunah to the world, right? But even Avraham Avinu was being tested at this time. Right? He was being tested. In other words, the Hashem took away. Otherwise, if he had everything, it wouldn't be a test. But whatever he worked for, he had. And obviously it was enough because Baruch Hashem, he passed his test. Right? He did what Hashem said to do. He didn't ask any questions. And that's the history that we have. All right? It's interesting. Right? And all of this is because how Hashem tested him by not telling him directly where he was going. So again, we could look at it and we could say, oh, what's the big deal? You know, he's going with Hashem, it's going to be good. But again, he was leaving. He had to explain to his wife, hey, we're leaving, you're leaving all your friends behind. You're leaving all your stuff, all the stuff that you know, all the things you're familiar with, and we're just leaving. It's interesting, right? I mean, we just talked about it like that, but it's not so simple. It's not that simple, right? Is that true?
Not simple at all.
It's not simple.
Right?
Not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy.
No, I mean, he was living in there. They were living there for they were living in Choron a very long time.
He grew up there.
Right? That was his hometown. Yeah. Right? For better or for worse, that's where he was, right? Yeah. That's where he was, and that's what he knew. People don't like change, and he wasn't a young man.
Not a young man.
Right? He was 75 years old. Right? He was 75 years old to just pick himself up and to just leave. Right? You tell me there was an 18-year-old, they were 18 years old, and Hashem said, leave. No big deal. They're not established, they don't have anything. Right? But this is something amazing, right? That he did this. Okay. Kidei, what?
No, good. Good.
You want to say? You can say
He
something.
couldn't even tell people where to send the lift. He had no address.
He couldn't even send a lift. Yeah, right.
Some people do that though here when they come make aliyah. I'm always
Yeah.
amazed that the guys that make aliyah with no
No address.
no address, they just get them
I was
in.
a guy at the airport going to one, give a ticket.
But you also didn't just one day you walked to your house
Yeah.
and you saw a for sale
Yeah,
sign on
right,
it.
that's true. And the Parshas Lech Lecha was like a very,
What happened? Can you tell us what happened?
I mean, it's a little bit of a story, but Parshas Lech Lecha definitely influenced me a lot. Like, I just remember that was the final, like, it's like, look, what do I tell you, Hashem's, telling
Saying,
me.
I gotta go. Let's go.
And like this, too. Like this, too.
Did you
like,
come
like
back
that.
home to
But I had come on a trip with my wife. I had 4 kids at the time. She's built a very beautiful home in Ohio. And
Oh, wow.
on the way back, like many people, when they get to the airport, I love this place. I feel it in my heart. It's so hard to leave, And boy, we really should move here. My wife says, and yeah, of course. But like, okay, we'll be back for flying business in no time. And don't worry, we'll get back into the swing of things and forget about it. Like that's what happened. Okay. Also, at the same time, we got into Reb Nachman, and he speaks very highly of Eretz Yisrael.
Oh, yes, he
don't see
does.
so much yet here, but it's,
Oh, he speaks.
he speaks very highly. So, when we got home, a week or so after that trip, I was coming back from work.
That's lesson 7, by the way.
About
He
Eretz
speaks
Yisrael?
highly about the
Yeah.
Eretz Yisrael, Tefillah, and Klal Yisrael are all one. Yeah. Emunah. This is the land of Emunah.
Land of Emunah. Well, that was a big part of it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what it
yeah,
would take
yeah,
to
yeah,
pull this
yeah,
off. Anyway, there was a for sale sign in front of our house that my wife had built. So even you have a surprise face. Wow. Yeah.
Your wife put a for sale sign up?
Yeah.
In
Without
Ohio.
telling me.
In Ohio.
In Ohio, next to her parents, where we built the house, it was beautiful, and it was nice to be there forever. I mean, that was it. It was fine. It was all set. Okay.
I've been to that house many times. It's very hard to leave a house like that.
It was nice. Okay.
Did you have a swimming pool?
And no swimming pool, but I had places to go to that had all that.
It was very comfortable.
It was
You made it very
It was
comfortable.
very comfortable. Yeah, that's all. It was very comfortable. The location was fantastic. It was just a very good situation. It was taken care of. That's it. Hashem, I don't need to go anywhere. I got this all covered. Thank you. Don't need to tell me to go anywhere. I'm here. I got this covered. I'll take it from here. That was more or less the thought process.
But you left.
We left, and that's the way that it went down. And really, it wasn't simple. And my wife says it had to go that way. It was a temporary moment of insanity. She says, like the way that's what it takes. You have to suspend logic.
Yeah.
Suspend your thinking.
Yeah.
To go to that. So I'm not saying this for everyone.
They went from that semi-mansion to an apartment in Zayt Shemesh.
Yeah, it's true. We went to one of these tiny apartments, like even smaller than yours. You have a beautiful apartment. Nothing. The older. What sold me on at the time, they had like these Yahoo listings. So an Israeli was advertising penthouse apartment.
Wow.
That was the word that got me.
Yeah.
Penthouse.
It was like this, you understand?
Penthouse, yeah.
Miriam, it's the penthouse. It's like, you go to the doorman, you go straight up to the top. I really was so.
Of a 4-story building.
The elevator doesn't work on the top floor. This place, even the lift people, when they came, they looked at it. What are you nuts? They said, how are we going to get all your stuff? In here. They said, we can't even fit it through the door, even if we want to.
It's like a deer skin.
It won't even
Rashi says it's like a deer skin. It just stretches.
What a disaster.
The walls all stretch. But it worked out nice, right? Yes, now you have a nice house, Baruch Hashem. Miracle. See that?
Miracle. It's true.
Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem.
Look at those things. Plus,
It's all a miracle. All miracles.
There was a crash. There was some crash with 2000. I don't know. The real estate was really low. To take a loss on the house was really hard too.
Even Rabbi Nachman give you a little smack in the face with your story when he was very excited because he's just starting to learn Rabbi Nachman and he came and he saw somebody in shul.
Oh, that's true. That's true. No, but so when I did get here, it was very hot. I knew no one. There was nothing like this. There was no English speaker, Shlomo Kaber, Shlomo the Hasidu. But I was all full of life. I went to Uman. I knew Rav Lezer Brody. He lives in Ashton.
He lives in
I lived next to
Ashton.
him. I knew Rav Shalom Arush, but that's Yerushalayim. I'm not there. I'm on my own here. Okay, there's no chaver like this, and it was really hard. My wife's having a hard time. It was really hard. A month, 2 months, no invites. I'm telling you, it was really tough.
Yeah.
And finally, one time I go into shul and I see a guy sitting down learning Likutey Maran.
Wow.
And I said, "Oh, Hashem!" I mean, like I was already in that world. I was talking to Hashem, just like all you guys. And it was a different develop. And I go over to the guy.
It worked.
I go over and my Yossi, and I go over and I slide into the bench next. I'm like, hi, I'm Yossi. You don't mind if I learn a little Rebbeinu with you? He goes, actually, I do.
Actually,
one of my lowest points of Haliyah.
Oh, wow. Actually, I do.
He's like, he grabbed the. He's like,
Like
Halas curses,
his
yeah.
book or something.
like as if like you're getting in on my again I know the individual. People have their own down the Kaskus have their own anyway. So everyone has their own story. Like this guy, what's he doing? Coming here into Efrat, and especially if he has kids in Renana and sleeping on a floor for months on end until your stuff came and then leaving the great. Well, everyone has their own different story.
Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. This we'll learn about Avraham Avinu's story. Now we learned about Yossi's story. Now this is great. This is great.
I'll tell you something. If you guys ever go online, I went to go take a look. Some of these classes of Reb Chaim, they get 5, 6, 7,000 views.
Okay.
No, but I'm saying I want.
They want to hear your story.
Yossi.
People want to know your story.
I want to know about Yossi.
Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. Hashem Yisbarach Nisa es Avram v'legila es Aretz miyad kidei sheyia novoich u'mesupak. Right? He should be in quandary. Right? I don't know what to do. He doesn't know. What should I do? He kept searching after what's the Ratzon Hashem. Right? He didn't know. Right, like you just said, we're all misub. We don't know. We were questioning: is this going to work? It's not going to work. Am I going to find the place? I'm not going to find. But I just know I'm doing. This is the Ratzon Hashem, and we're doing it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of course, showed him, and he revealed his Ratzon because he got to where he had to get to. Right, and he got a lot of schar for that. But if you remember something, right, he came to Eretz Yisrael, right? He left Haran. That's a pretty far away from here, right, Yossi?
Yeah.
How far about? How many kilometers is that? Would you guess? Just a guess.
Haran?
Yeah.
I think that's Mesopotamia.
That's it, right? Yeah. So you're talking about 1,500, at least 1,500 kilometers.
Yeah.
So they make a trek, right, by foot. Yeah, by donkey, right? And he has his animals and he had his stuff, right? 15. So he gets to Eretz Yisrael finally. And what happens? There's a hunger in the land. Remember that?
Yeah.
And he has to go down to Mitzrayim to get food.
This is Avinu on the trip.
Right. Yeah, Avram. So what happened? Then he goes down to Mitzrayim, and then he has a whole problem with his wife. They take her captive.
You're right. I would have thrown the towel in.
And he could have said to Hashem at that point, Hashem, I don't know. It was pretty comfortable in Haran over there. It was pretty good.
Or throw me a bone. Like if you're
Yeah, it was pretty good over there. Right, okay, so let's see. Right? Hakeda shenema by al achad haharam again. HaKadosh Baruch Hu tests us on one of the mountains against it. We should be mitzapa. We should try to figure out. To be mitzapa, we should expect to try to understand. Try to understand what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants, and we always have to ask Hashem, what do you want from me? Tell me what you want. Show me what you want. Right? V'chein yoina shenema by hu kara aleh es hakriya. Ki yoina lefi data loy huta peinav shlicha zeh leninvei. Jonah, right? Jonah's our prophet, right? We speak about him on Yom Kippur, right? Mincha, right? We read the Jonah. All right. So what happened? Hashem sends him to go to Nineveh. This is not a Jewish city, right? These are Gentiles, right? And he tells him to go to Nineveh and tell them to do tshuva. Now, this didn't seem too good to Jonah. Like, okay, if you tell me to go to, I don't know, to a Jewish town, and you want me to deal with Jews, I could do that. I could relate to them. What do I have anything to do with these people in Nineveh? Right? What does he have to do with the people in Nineveh? Why is he being sent on this mission? Right?
One second. It also says here again, call out to it the call that I will tell you.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
No, that's ukara alea as a kriya, right? That's what that means. In other words, again, we're discussing over here the fact that these tzaddikim are being tested, right? And they don't understand what their tests are, but yet they go and do it. Jonah had a little problem with it, right? He didn't really want to go do this, right? He thought that he's going to try to go away. He's going to try to go away from Hashem. He'll go hide from Hashem. It didn't work out too good, right? It didn't work out. Let's see. Kamay Shamra by Seinuzam, Kiloi Haven Oitzim Rachmei Hashem Yisbarach Ad Heichen Hey Magiyim. Right? He had no idea that HaKadosh Baruch Hu even has Rachmanis for the nations of the world. HaKadosh Baruch Hu even has Rachmanis for them. Halachos kama v'kama, how much Hashem has Rachmanis on us? Right? Think about it, right? Right? If he has Rachmanis on the nations of the world, of course he has Rachmanis on us, because he told us that we're Banim Atem L'Hashem Elokeichem, we're his children. So of course you have more Rachmanis if you have Rachmanis on your neighbors, right? Of course you can have Rachmanis on your family, correct? Valkein Hisno Isay Hashem Yisbarach Kamay Shamar B'Seinu Zal El Inyan Zeh, right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu Maseh, right? Es HaTzaddikim, he tested the Tzaddikim v'loi gila loi miyad kedei sheyachapes v'yavakesh harbe, so that we should search and cry out to Hashem and try to find what does Hashem want. Then you can find, and again, if you call out to Hashem, of course Hashem eventually will tell you and show you what you want. But you have to ask Hashem, right? You have to cry out to Hashem. Hashem wants the tshuva from even the Umas Ha'olam. Could you believe that? The nations of the world. Umot Ha'olam, right? The nations of the world. Hashem even wants tshuva from the nations of the world. Mikol Shekain, look what he says, Mikol Shekain Shel Yisrael. Of course, Hashem wants the tshuva of Klal Yisrael, right? Again, that's the Kal V'chomer. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants tshuva from the nations of the world, of course, Halachos kama v'kama, he wants tshuva from Klal Yisrael, right? And we can always come back to Hashem. This is based on lesson 12. We can always cry out to Hashem, where are you, Hashem, from whatever place we find ourselves, right? No matter where we are, we can always cry out to Hashem, where are you? You reveal Hashem's covenant in that place. And that's bringing Hashem into that place, into your life, and that is the tshuva. That's the yerida, the letzorech aliyah. That's the aliyah, calling out to Hashem, bringing Hashem's covenant into that place. Unbelievable. Now came the emes. Shahaya yoina b'mei hadoga. Jonah found himself in the belly of the fish. This big whale, right? This big whale, Jonah is inside the fish. Oh, he said, oh Hashem, I see you have a lot of Rachmanis. I'm alive inside the fish's belly. Could you imagine that? Yeah. Could you imagine he was living inside the fish?
We thought he was going to drown. I mean, they threw him in the ocean. So
he threw him in, he was thrown in, but now he was inside the fish's belly.
Yeah, it's better than being in the ocean.
Okay. Okay.
Not by much.
Okay. But again, I mean, he was still swallowed by the whale, right?
Yeah, he's alive though.
Right? Yeah, they say that there's a mashal for that there's a fish in the water that a big fish is threatening to swallow him. And he's crying to the big fish. He's saying, hey, don't eat me. Come on, have Rachmanis on me. Have Rachmanis on me. Right? And then he sees that outside of the mouth of the little fish comes another fish. Pops out of his mouth. So you're telling me to have Rachmanis on you, but you ate another fish? Got it? You understand? Unbelievable. Okay. Kamaisha Kosev Shah mi beten shaol shivati shamata koili. I called out from you from the belly of the fish, and you heard my cry. So even HaKadosh Baruch Hu is so low, right? The fish is in the water, down in the water. So if you want to understand where Hashem can reach, Hashem even is reaching inside the belly of the fish. You see that? So you want to know where Hashem is. Hashem is everywhere. Hashem, you can find Hashem even inside the belly of a fish. Unbelievable. Amati nigarshti mineged einecha. Right? I said that I'm going to remove myself from in front of you, Hashem. I'm going to run away from you, Hashem. That's what Jonah was trying to do. I didn't want this mission. Jonah didn't want his mission. He's running away from Hashem. Unbelievable, right? The chol mishbarecha v'galecha olei avru. Right? Everything passed on. Everything happened to me. Ach oisiv lahabit el heichel kochecha. I'm still. I'm gathering. I'm trying to look at your heichel kochecha shekol zeh hu inyan habakosha v'achipos. That was Jonah's his bakosha, requesting out, where are you, Hashem? Like we said yesterday, Yossi said that there's no what do you call it? There's no atheist in a foxhole, right? Right. So even Jonah was realizing, Hashem, you told me, I tried to run away from you, but I realized I can't run away from you. And he was searching for Hashem even inside the belly of the fish. He's searching for Hashem, and Hashem's Rachmanis reached him inside the belly of the fish. Unbelievable. Yeah, say something.
It's a story, but I mom just heard this yesterday, which is amazing. There was, I read this testimony from someone who lived in Kibbutz Re'im.
Yeah,
right?
Sure, yeah.
And she said, listen,
that's right on the border of
right
Gaza,
border,
the envelope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got hit very hard.
Yeah.
So she said that they, right before Simchas Torah, Cholamoid Sukkot, there's this Rav who tries to do Kiruv, and these Kibbutzim, B'shita, don't have big Knesset's. You know, one of the things people will say is, you see that they didn't destroy any shuls, like when they came in.
Yeah, of course, they didn't have one.
They didn't have any. She says this Rav tried to bring a basketball team from a nearby yeshiva to play a game there in the kibbutz. You know, there should be some interaction between the two. And she went bananas. Okay, this was 3 days before. She shows all the texts that she had. She goes, don't bring your religious doctrine into our kibbutz. Don't try to, I know you're trying to tell us who a Jew is, and you're trying to make this into about religion, and that's not who we are here. And she gave this guy such a hard time. He goes, all right, hey, you got it. Like, we're not going to come. Okay, we're not going to come. And she tells us.
Yeah.
2 days later, Simchas Torah, Hamas comes, burns down all the houses, kills her entire family, and takes her hostage. Okay, and she's mamish, a hostage inside the tunnels. Okay, and she describes having to walk kilometers in the dark with an armed guard here and there, and so she says to the guards, like, what's your? You're from Ibrahim. I'm from Ibrahim. We're cousins. We're all one. I'm an Israeli. I'm not we're from the same place. So he says, you're not a Jew. You're not like he says. He goes, nah, like totally dismissive and cold to her arguments that she couldn't understand. And it was then, she says, in that dark tunnel that she realized, oh my gosh, all I really am is a Jew. That's all. Here I am. I'm spending my entire life trying to deny it.
But
I
that's
would never
all.
let anyone call me a Jew. She said. I only would say I'm an Israeli. And I kicked this Rav out. I wouldn't let him come in. And that.
But I am a Jew.
And now I'm a Jew. And she said that. She goes,
Jonah.
She says, from the darkest. Mom, that's what you're saying. From the darkest place in that tunnel.
But
I had a life
so
treasure.
deep down.
She got out after 50 days, this lady, and she now is spearheading the campaign to build the big Knesset.
Oh.
And yeah, and she
You
says,
you see how this is what Rabbi Kramer always says. You see from all of these things come out such beauty. Such beauty come out. There's no way that it's so sad that she had to go through that and have such destruction. It's such destruction to have her realize that. She could, but there was no other way to do it. There's no other way to do it, right? You could have had anyone try to explain that to her, but she would never have accepted it. She came to the realization of her by herself from a Hamas guard.
That's a great story.
It's amazing. No, but it's exactly what we're learning. Yossi, thank you. No, it's exactly what we're learning.
And that's how hard-headed we are sometimes.
Yeah.
That we have to really get beat over the head with a hammer.
But Yossi, if you think about it, before October 7th, there was no Achdut in this country at all.
The opposite. Yeah.
There was no Achdut. There was such a period. It was like the left and the right was so divided. It was unbelievable.
They attacked
Is it
Jews
true?
praying in Tel Aviv.
I understand. It was the worst that it ever was. And then all of a sudden, October 7th, we have Achdut.
We're not there yet.
I understand. Okay, Shalom.
I know.
Okay, I understand. But all of the guys were saying, we're not going to fly the planes, and we're not going to go in, we're not going to be, so we're not going to do it. They all came in and they all did what they had to do. Was there any other way to do it?
yeah, I never doubted that. I guess like
Okay.
Hamas did though. They said, oh, you see, these guys are really fighting. Even the pilots aren't going to show up.
That's right. This is great. Yeah, we can get them. Right. But it's unbelievable. But you see how so on some level, of course, this is all part of the Rahmanis of Hashem in the cuckooist way. Hashem wants us to be together. He wants us to have Achdus. He wants all the Jews to get together, no matter where a Jew is a Jew. Like she just said, like this lady said, a Jew is a Jew. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Every Jew has a chelik elikam imal. Right? They have that little chelik elikam that's pure. And we have to just look at that. And that's all Hashem wants us to do. And we have to, okay.
And he looked at her, that guard, and said, "You're not a Jew."
Right, because she didn't do anything like a Jew.
No, that's what because you're not a Jew. You're a European colonist.
Yeah.
That's all you are. That's what they were all told. We're not. They don't think you and I are even real Jews. We're just some foreign group.
Yeah, I know, but to
from
her it was
Ukraine.
like, "I am a Jew. What do you mean I'm not a Jew?"
That's right. And that's what it took for her to realize that.
Yeah. Well, Hitler did a good job with that also, right?
He did.
He did a Machshem right? All those guys were crying, I'm a German, I'm a Polish, I'm a this. No, you're a Jew. And we did that there too, right?
Yeah, right. They had this other expert here over Shabbos was on Islam. He was talking about how at least by Hitler, if you decided, forget it, you're right, I converted to Christianity, or look, I lived like a guy my whole life, I married a guy, my mother was a guy even, it didn't matter to him.
Doesn't matter, your father was Jewish.
It didn't matter, he didn't care, you had some Zera Yisrael in you, you're gone.
God, man.
By Islam, if you accept Allah, if you come on board with their religion, you're in. You're in. They're not going to kill you. You could be saved.
Okay.
I know you don't.
Okay.
There's some Rahmanas there.
Right. But how could you say that, Yossi, when you have the Shiites and the Sunnis, they're both Muslim.
Right.
They both are Muslims.
Right.
So they still kill them. So how does that work?
Yeah.
So you're saying, I'm a Jew.
Right.
Chas v'chalila, any Jew should say that they're going to be a Muslim. And they're going to let that person live where they have Muslims themselves. They were born Muslim. They're real Muslim.
Right.
And they'll kill them.
Well, his next question was going to be, are you going to be a Sunni or a...
Yeah.
Pick the right side and know how to dance in it.
I'll move over to the other side. I'll go to that.
When it comes to fighting the Jews,
Oh, yeah, Hashem, help us.
That's what's incredible, though. You're right. Though, when it comes to fighting, and then you start out by saying,
When it comes to fighting Jews, they all get together. They all get together.
We're up against such reaches. until now, it was always Baruch Hashem. They can't all get together.
But when it comes to get to Klal Yisrael, they'll get together. They'll get together. You see, but you see,
they give of themselves in the serious nefesh.
but you see, it's all about Achdut, right? If we don't have Achdus on our side, they'll have Achdus on their side. If we have Achdus on our side, they don't have Achdus on their side. You got it?
Yeah, but what you just remind me of, I didn't think about it. They all said, if there's a war, we're not going to fly. We're not going to be
Right,
there.
right.
And
Right,
it's
so
like,
they had Achdus on their side.
Yeah, I mean, if they heard that, it's like, hey, this is the right time.
Right, there has to be unity.
Wow.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu, even when it came to the Dara Floga, right? These guys were building the tower, right? But they were all working together. Even though they were going to go wage a war against Hashem, Hashem loved the fact that they were all working together.
Yeah.
It's amazing, right? Hashem didn't destroy them. He dispersed them. He switched their languages. He did whatever he did, right? But he didn't destroy them. It's interesting, right? So if we have Achdus, they don't have Achdus. If we don't have Achdus, they have Achdus. And then we're in trouble, right? So we have to just really work on our Achdus. And then they separate. Okay, let's just finish this piece here. Shegam mi beten shaol mamish tzrichin l'tzayik al Hashem. No matter where you are, even if you find yourself in a fish, like Jonah found himself, it doesn't matter. Okay, search and call out to Hashem. K'meish shemati mipiv hakodesh she'amar bezel loshen she'ikar hu mi beten shaol shivati hainu. The main thing is to remember, right? Rabbi Nachman writes that in Sichas Haran, this idea that even if you can find yourself in a lower place than being in the belly of a fish, right? Think about it. You're living inside. He was living inside a fish for what? For 3 days? Does that make any sense? Right? He's in a fish for 3 days, and he's calling out to Hashem, and Hashem answered him. And then he went to Nineveh, and watch what the people in Nineveh did. Right? They took it to heart. What the king said. What did the king say? Everyone has to fast. Everyone has to fast. Everyone's going to do tshuva, and they did tshuva. You understand? They did tshuva, right? That's all about. And we have to realize all Hashem wants us to do is to really do tshuva. He wants us to come back to Him. He wants us to come back to Him, and never think that you did anything that you can't come back to Hashem. Whatever you did, it's in the avar. It's in the past. It has nothing to do with where you are today. Where you are now. You're a new person today, like we learned. Hashem makes everything brand new every single day. Everything is new. And you're a new person every day. And yes, you have stuff in the back. You'll fix it. But work forward. You have to soldier on. And that's what Hashem wants us to do. Okay? Any questions? We're okay with this. Right? We understand this idea? Where Avram Avinu, he doesn't tell them where to go, but he goes, right? In two instances, right? And then when Avram gets to the place, he sees that there's a famine. He doesn't care. He's the tzaddik. He has a emunah in Hashem. Hashem told me to come over here. He says, and there's this, so I'll go somewhere else. Okay, doesn't matter. I'll go where there's food. Okay, no problem. Oh, they took my wife. Okay, he cried to Hashem again. And what happened? Sarah was saying everything was okay. He got back together, and then he wound up giving him a lot of presents. Remember that, right? He wound up getting a lot of presents from it. Right? It always works out. You have to work on our emunah. Okay. So let's learn the halacha on tzitzis now. Okay, here we go. Right? See the tzitzis and remember all the mitzvahs of Hashem. Okay, so today we're up to we're in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch Siman Tes, and today we're up to Sivkot and Zion. We're in 9, and today we're up to 7. Is that right, Shalom? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so here we go. So yesterday we learned about the different ways about tying the tzitzis and preparing the tzitzis. Right? You have to prepare them. Right? You have to always there's a concept that there has to be tasi v'loy min ha'asli. Right? You have to make the tzitzah. And you can't take a tzitzis that was pre-made some other time, cut off that corner, sew it onto another garment. It won't work. Right? If you had your tzitzis, we said if it fell off, right? Remember that, right? If the tzitzis fell off, so and then you even want to put it back onto its own garment, right? If the corner tore, right? It tore through the corner. So now you have the tzitzit. It's a nice, everything's good, right? The loop is there, and the tzitzit is good. You can't put it back there and then sew it up. It won't work. It's puzzle because it has to be tasui v'loy min ha'asui. You have to. It has to be. It can't be. It has to be made as tzitzis. Not that it was already made in the past. It has to be presently made as tzitzis, and then it'll be actually tzitzis. Got it? Okay. So now you did all of that. You prepared the garment, and you knew it was 3 thumb breadths from the corner on the bottom and the side where the hole was. Right, and you put a binding around it, and you prepared the garment the right way. There were no strings hanging out of the garment. You cut them all off, right? All these things that we learned about the tzitzis, right? So now you have your garment, right? You have your beautiful garment, and you have your tzitzis. Now what do you do? Okay, now kodim she is atet batalas. So now in the morning when you come to take out your talis from your talis bag, right? You're going to come to daven, right? So kodim she is atet batalas, before you wrap. Right, you have to wrap the talis, right? Yisate patalis, right? You have to wrap it, right? Tifa yishmeli, right? It has to be like we'll learn about that. Yivdaik es hatzitzis. So you're supposed to check your tzitzis. Make sure that nothing happened to the tzitzah overnight or earlier that day. Someone may have used your talis or something. Maybe the tzitzis they tore or whatever. You don't know. Right now, you're going to be making a bracha on the talis. Right, you're going to be making a bracha. So before you make the bracha, you want to make sure that the tzitzis are good. Right, or else you're going to make a bracha levatala if you don't have the right tzitzit. Right, the tzitzis aren't there, or they were unwound, or one fell off, or whatever it is. You don't have. Okay, yivdak heim im heim kisheres. V'tzarich livdoi gam es achutim sheim b'soich hanekev. So you have to check the what do you call it, the chut and the strings that they're in within the hole and everything's right, and all of the windings that you made and the knots. You want to make sure everything is in order. And then take the strings, and if the strings are intertwined one another, right? So separate the strings. So all they have 4 and 4 on each one, right? Sometimes the strings get intertwined, right? So straighten them out, and that way you have your knife, because it says kedilin taselach, right? It has to be. So you have to make that. You have the wine. So you have to see the tzitzis that they should be all in order, okay? Right. So before you put on your talis, sometimes you put it on your shoulder on the right side, and you're supposed to check, right? Check the corners. You're supposed to check on the beged itself. You're supposed to check the corners, make sure that it's not torn from the hole, right? And then make sure that the tzitzis, and straighten out the tzitzis and the knots. Let's say the knot starts to unwind, the last knot, right? The bottom knot on the tip. Sometimes you could just tighten them up, so everything's in order. You make sure it's in order. Okay. What? No, you shouldn't. Well. Some say you can, because it's a knot that's not really permanent. It's a knot that always moves. You're not allowed to make on Shabbos a knot that's permanent, right? So this is something that it constantly gets loose. So you have to tighten it. So it's not really like, like tying your shoes? Are you allowed to tie your shoe on Shabbos? Are you allowed to tie your shoe on Shabbos? Why? Because it's not a knot that you're making that it will never come out. Right? If you make a kesher shel kayama, right? That's what the law is. If you make a kesher shel kayama, you make a knot that you don't intend to remove. That you're not allowed to do on Shabbos. But if you want to make a bow or a knot like on the tzitzis, You're not really. It's a knot. It's just tied together and pulled. It's not a knot, right? Is it true what I'm saying, Sean? Do you agree with that?
That's like putting on your gartel as well.
Putting on the gartels, that's not a knot.
No, I know that's.
No, that's not a knot. He has the question: are you allowed to tighten up the knot on Shabbos? So most people say you can, because for that reason. But ask your local Orthodox rabbi to be certain on that. Okay. All right. Anyway, okay. Mudakim zeh. Okay. Ve'im nishtoha lovay lebeis hakneses sheba'oid sheyafer es hatzitzis ve'yavdol v'yispatel mispalel atzibur. How do you like this? So you came a little late to shul, right? Now, see, they had that problem. They daven very fast then too, right? Shalom, you see that? They daven very fast then also, right? You came to shul a little bit late, right? Now if you're going to sit there and try to figure out your tzitzis and straighten them out, and it may take you another 2-3 minutes to do that, to do it nicely, right? Everything's in order, and you want to do that nicely, right? Now you're going to miss tefillah b'tzibur. Oh, wait a second, right? So then, what does he say? You don't have to check them, redone to separate them. You can be saimach. In other words, b'shas atchak, right? B'shas atchak. In other words, we want to daven b'tzibur. So you can be saimach that really the talents was good yesterday. Right? You have a chazaka. It was good yesterday. Since it was good yesterday, it's probably good today. But really, obviously, it's better to come a little early, and it's better to check it than it's still to be able to make your tefillah b'tzibur. So that's the main thing. So what we learned today pretty much is before you put on your talis, right? You're supposed to check, make sure the strings aren't intertwined, right? Straighten them out. Make sure the knots are in order, right? The knots are nice and tight. Right, and make sure that the corner didn't get torn and anything else. And I want to wish everyone a wonderful day. And today we're going to have our Parsha class today at 5 o'clock here in Israel, 10 o'clock on Eastern Standard Time. 4 o'clock today in Israel, and at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Kol Tov, everybody.